What's going on, YouTube? I know it's been a little while, but we got a different kind of video for you today. Um, we encountered a professional dumpster diver who came across some Magic the Gathering cards, and I'm gonna go through and see what we found. Uh, and as you see, I got the little camera right here so that we can see the cards, and I'll just slide them up there as we go along. Now, I I've only been playing Magic for a few years, but I'm not. I built my own decks, but not like nothing like crazy. So I don't know what these cards are worth or anything like that. Uh, so maybe somebody will tell me. Um, but they seem to be in good condition. I did like a light browse through them. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. There's like 5 binders full of cards. Like that's not good. No, it is not. There's about 5 binders, all about this thick, full of cards. So we'll try to get through them as fast as possible. So the first card that we got a benthic gin. See if we can get it a little better zoom in on that. So it looks like uh the first set will be going. The first binder seems to be Demir, which is blue black for people who don't know. Um, so I don't know if that means that this binder is mostly blue or mostly black, but we'll figure that out. Um, I promise I'm not gonna take this long on every card, but well, there you go. At any time you control no islands, bury skeleton ship. I've never heard of bury either. So that's interesting. Now in this binder, there are whole pages missing. Well, like not whole pages, but like some pages only have like 1 or 2 cards in them. So maybe the person that threw these away already, had they already took some of like the more expensive cards, maybe. Now, unfortunately for me, every deck that I own except for one is tribal. So, uh, I don't I don't know how much use I'm gonna be getting out of these cards, but it's still a cool novelty. I thought it'd be cool to share with you guys. So next we have Haunting Apparition. That's a cool art. I've I've also never seen this down here at the bottom right where it says 1 plus and then the modifier. So that's cool. And we got 2 spatial bindings. It's a cool enchantment. Like I said, I don't know how good any of this is. I don't know how expensive any of it is. Nothing. Uh, let's see. This is the first card with any like sort of wear and tear on it. It's not bad though. It's not terrible. We got Sealed Fate. The one thing I have been getting into recently, because I'm really big into like art and stuff like that, is actually like looking up some of these artists for the Magic the Gathering cards. Because I learned that they do secret layers for artists, and I think that's pretty cool. So I want to keep up with stuff like that. We have 4 of Disinformation Campaign. This looks like a more recent card. Yeah, we got 4 of those. So after we go through the whole color set of whatever, I'm gonna load them into my binder and then yap about something while I do that. And we got Moroi, a blue-black vampire. At the beginning of one upkeep, you lose 1 life. Or your upkeep, you lose 1 life. You know what I meant. We got another card from 1993. We got Essence Vortex. Straighten that out. Yeah, I wish this would all just stay in one place. All right. Next, we got Ulamog's Nullifier. So that means we got some Eldrazi cards, which is interesting. I don't personally own any Eldrazi cards other than... No, I don't own any Eldrazi cards, so that's cool. I think the Eldrazi are really cool. So one of the things that I also get into a lot is like reading the lore of like everything that I'm into. It's like everything around me, like the Overwatch poster, League of Legends stuff, comic books, all of that. I get into the lore real bad about all of that stuff. So when I got into Magic, that was no different. We got Psychic Drain next. Dog, I'm terrible at this. Boom, boom. Okay. We got another one that we got multiples of. We got a zombie card called Skull Scabe. Who knows? It's Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. Whenever a creature you control exploits a non-token creature, create a zombie token. That's also the first time I've heard exploit. I know some of y'all Magic people are gonna be like, "You're such a casual." And it's that I definitely I've been playing Magic since about I got introduced to Magic in 2016, but I didn't really start playing until 2018. After I was getting into the Dragon Ball card game, and I started with Standard back then. I bought like a bunch of Chandra starter, like this. What I think that was just the set that was out at the time. And there was a bunch of stuff for Chandra, and I like firepower, so I kind of latched on to Chandra pretty hard, and I have like mats and all that, like entire Chandra. I bought every Planeswalker card that she had, everything, blah 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 blah. And then I stopped playing for a while, and I recently got back in because of Commander, because I think the idea that you can build a deck around one card is awesome. So next we got Duskmantle Guild Mage. It's a little holographic. I'm a sucker for holographic cards because the first card game I ever played was Yu-Gi-Oh! And growing up, that was a big deal if you had the holographic cards. That's actually like another thing that I try to do when I build my own decks. Is like the decks that I like take the time to like actually craft myself. I try to get as many of the cards foil or holographic as you possibly can. Next we got Disciple of Deceit. I'm pretty sure that's another fairly recent card. No, that's 2014. So that's before my time at least. And I immediately absolutely recognize this card. But we got the multi-arts, and that's cool. So, I got really big when I got really... So here's Silver Fur Master. Let's preface that. Alright? And Silver Fur Master is from Kamigawa. And I know that, one, because he's a ninja and a rat. But here's There's an alternate art for the card here. I love, love, love the alternate arts for the Kamigawa cards. And as you can probably guess by all the anime blah 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 blahs and tattoos and stuff, I think samurais and ninjas are cool. So I went pretty hard when I got back into Commander, which was late last year. Is when I started again, like November, December last year, and early into January. And so instead of getting anything like modern, I went back and got Kamigawa since I knew that it was done. Um, and I got the Kamigawa like Beetle and Grim. It's like $500 something dollars. I was losing my mind. I don't know why I spent that much money, but I did. Um, and I bought the collector's box and stuff like that, and I built. But my two main commander decks are Kamigawa decks. It's Ishin, Two Heavens as one. My friends think it's cringe, whatever. And then the other one is Yuriko, but they're both tribal decks. So one is just a pure samurai deck, and then the other one is a pure ninja deck, which she should be a pure ninja deck. But still, I really like tribal decks, and I really like building thematic decks. So, back to the cards. So, here we have Siren of the Silent Song. It's another card from 2014 with a keyword inspired. Never heard of that one either. So we're learning a lot already. And then next we have Demir Guildmage. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. But it's neat though. Alright, that pile's getting a little high. So we're gonna move off of that. Okay. So here we have another card from 1993. With another keyword that I've never heard of. So we're learning a lot. It says equipped creature has fear. This card is called Mask of Riddles. Maybe it would help if I would move this out of the way. I know what you're seeing right here. I'm not a gooner. I promise. Here's another one with, it's called Thought Cutter Agent. Pay 2 mana, tap it, and you make somebody reveal their hand. That's fun. They also lose 1 life. But that's fun. That's cool. The reason why I'm going through these is because although Mr. Dumpster Diver Man happily parted with the cards, the caveat was that he needed at least 4 of the 5 binders that there are. So here we go. Here's another card with fear on it. I'm gonna need to Google that keyword because none of these cards have told me what that means yet. But Merfolk Wizard. Each unblocked creature becomes a 4/1. That's cool. You got Mind Melter, another Eldrazi. We got Covetous Urge. We got 3 of those. (2019), that's closer to when I was playing. Snow creatures. I think I've encountered a snow deck 1 time in all the time that I was playing Magic. So, but I've never seen or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but a snow creature is interesting because the lettering is on the left side. So I don't, that's where it usually says legendary creature and stuff like that. I've never seen snow creature. That's interesting to me. It would be nice if through any of these cards I found uh so one of the next two decks that I want to build, I'm really big in the D&D, and I want to build a Tiamat deck because I bought the really big $400 mini for Tiamat, and so I think it'd be cool, like when I play Commander, when I play her, just push that onto the table, because why not? So here's Urborg Drake. So it'd be cool if we get any of the D&D cards in this. Let's see. Next we got a couple copies of this one. Sleeper's Robe. They're both the same arts. That's something I probably should have been paying attention to with the other. Dog, this is killing me looking at the thing like that. I probably should have been paying attention to see if there's some other arts. We got Obsessive Stitcher. That's a 2020. It's probably like the newest card that I've seen. Seer's Vision. I really like the gold borders of the older cards. There's something about it that makes it look kind of classy. I really like that. All opponents play with their hands revealed. That's fun. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you ran a deck that like you snatch people's cards and stuff like that, that could be fun. We got 5 of these, so it must be a common. We got Marsh Crocodile. And then here's a foil, and then 2 duplicates of a Lazatep Chancellor. I typically don't play. For the longest, my deck in Magic was red and blue. When I was playing Standard, Chandra with like some red blue alterations for like dragons and stuff like that. So, but I mostly just play red decks. And I have like 3 Mardu decks. So some of this stuff is interesting to me. There's a Slinking Serpent with Forest Walk. I think like Forest Walk and Island Walk and stuff like that. I think that's such an interesting design choice for a card. Cause like I only play Commander or Magic in general, like with friends. You know what I mean? So like I and my friends are much even more casual than I am into it. Like I have friends who build like really like pretty strong decks, and then I have friends that only play precons. I can only imagine if I pulled up with a deck that I built with something like Forest Walk against them. Like the amount of salt that would ensue would be crazy. Like, oh, you're all playing green decks like GG's bud. We got the Trickster Gods Heist. We got like 3 of those. All same art, no holographic. And we got Soaring Thought Thief. We got 5 of those, so he must be pretty common. But I really like his art. I think his art is really cool. That's cool that that's a rogue buffing card. That's neat. Next we have Narfi Betrayer King, the legendary snow creature. There's another one of those snow cards. And snow seems to have its own symbol for an activation. Can be paid with 1 mana from a snow source. I wonder how that works. I wonder, my first guess would have been that you could just tap a card, like kind of like it works for vehicles, but maybe snow cards have like a specific thing. Maybe we'll see some in here. Next we got Corpse Cobble, 1 holographic, 2 not. We're still in Demir in this binder. And we got Blade Stitch, Scab. 1 holographic, like 4 or 5 normals, but same art. And it's a cool art, I think. I think it's decent. Now, I really like a lot of the arts for the merfolk. I actually have one of the secret layers for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, because they had the merfolk and the merfolk, vampires, dinosaurs, and pirates. And it had alternate arts for all of them except the dinosaurs. There were no dinosaurs in the secret layer, which sketchy. But I think this art is pretty cool. Arami of the Dead Tide. I'm gonna set that to the side. I'll set one of them to the side. There's 2. One of my friends that only plays precons, his big like hyperfixations range from like he really loves Aquaman. So like when they have like the merfolk decks and stuff like that, he's really interested in wanting to build one. I know there's a precon of a merfolk deck, but it's like I'm pretty sure it was like really expensive on Amazon when we went to go get it. We have a card here in Korean. We actually have 2 copies of this card in Korean. And it looks really familiar. Obviously, because I have a bunch of Kamigawa cards, it looks familiar. So I'm gonna set that to the side and see if we can't figure out what that is. So I'll set one of them back in the pile. But the art is really cool. That's kind of random. This random guy just had a Korean card in here. I wonder if there'll be more. So next we got the Psychic Symbiote. And 1 holographic, 1 not. It's 2022, so new winner for furthest along we've gotten. I think the furthest back is still 1993. We got Cridle of Baldur's Gate, so we do have some D&D cards. Oh shit. Hey, we got, excuse my language. We got an alternate art for it as well. And it's got a signature on it. For Jeff D, the artist on it. It's got his signature on it. I'm going to set that one to the side. And then here's the normal art for Cridle of Baldur's Gate. Okay. We got 3 Extracts from Darkness. That's neat. Each player mills 2 cards and you just put a creature from the graveyard onto the battlefield. That's neat. Then we got a Rilsa Rail Kingpin. Here's the normal art. And then we also have another one of these. I don't even know what to call, like, I mean, it's an alternate art, but I don't even know what to call it beyond that. But this one doesn't have a signature like the other one does. So I'm going to set that one to the side. Also, we have Rona Shieldred's Faithful. And we have two normal arts and two alternate arts. I have two of these. So I'm going to set that one to the side too, because I have a binder just full of alternate arts and secret layers and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm really into that kind of stuff. So here we have a Phyrexian Merfolk. Now I think the Phyrexian are some of the coolest designed alien anything in fiction. So we have a holographic Phyrexian of Vohar. I'm gonna set that one to the side. So here's the normal one. And then here's an alternate art of Vohar. I'll set the other alternate art, is the same one, to the side as well. Okay, then we have Syndicate Infiltrator. And so we have one normal one and another Korean one. So we'll set the normal ones. We have two normal ones, excuse me. I'll set the Korean one over there. And we have three Tainted Indulgence. And then Architects of Will. I think this art is actually really neat. So shout out to Mr. Matt Stewart for his cool art. Next we have Evangel of Synthesis, Phyrexian Human Cleric. You really can't go wrong with like any of the Phyrexian art that I've seen. It's really cool. I know some of the Kamigawa sets that I have had like Phyrexianized versions of some of the cards, and I have some of those like the Planeswalkers for I think Kaido. There's a Phyrexianized one, and I have him, and the Wandering Emperor. I believe she had one, and I think I have that one too. Those are all really. I think I'm missing Jin-Gitaxias. I have his mini because they also had like a a D&D miniature set from WizKids that gave Kamigawa some of the minis. I bought all of the minis also. I haven't painted them because I'm lazy. Um, but I will one day. We got another new keyword that I've never heard called Cipher. And this card is from 2013. It's called Paranoid Delusions. But this one does tell me what Cipher means. You may cipher, then you may exile this spell card encoded on a creature you control. Whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoding card without paying its mana cost. I'm not going to dwell on that because we're recording, but that sounds interesting. And if it works like how I think it works, also kind of strong. We have 4 Malicious Advice. Tap X artifacts, creatures, or lands. You lose X life. And there's a bunch of these. There's Dihada's Ploy. Jumpstart, I am familiar with that keyword. Feel a little less like a noob right now. We got Perplex. 3 same arts. A little brighter of a card color than normal. Death Cult Rogue. You got Voldalian Zombie, 4 of them. Let's see. And we got 4 recoils, which I'm sure is also probably another common card. I'm really hoping that we get at least something usable for one of the 2 commander decks that I want to play. Okay, so now we're out of Dimir. Because the next card that we see is Rakdos. Is Ghostly Flame. This is an interesting. Both black and red permanents are considered colorless sources of damage. So I guess that would be like a way of bypassing like protection from blank colors. That's really interesting to have a card like that that would pass that. And we got Axelrod Gunnarsson. It's another one of those summon legend cards. See. There's quite a few of this next one. Limdual's Paladin. Summon Paladin. A lot of words on that. It's interesting that it doesn't say creature. You know, like, I think that's what's throwing me about the summon legends and stuff like that. Because I know, like, when I was first learning Magic, that was one of the things that my friend that taught me really hammered into my head is like, because I used to play with a ton of Chandra commanders or Chandra planeswalkers. And so it was like, oh yeah, like if it doesn't say creature on the card, then it doesn't affect them. So like that's really throwing me. Next we have Cauldron Dance. We have 2 of them. Play it only once during combat, or you can play it only during combat. Return target creature from your graveyard to play. It gains haste. Put a creature card from your hand into play. That creature gains haste. Put it in the graveyard. That sounds crazy, actually. Like, just no cost. You put 2 cards into play. It's pretty crazy. Next we have 2 Shalku's Minion. Nothing really interesting about that one, I don't think. This art is pretty intricate. This is a card from 1996 called Kervik's Purge. It has really cool art, I think. There's a lot going on with that. I probably should have got a light or something like that to do it. Well, then I'll break up these videos into one for each binder, and then maybe the production on the next one will be like a little better. Okay, so it looks like this box is like black multicolors. So we got 4 Backlash, same art. And this is actually really cool art. I always like the little flavor text at the bottom of the Magic cards. Give you a little story about like the scene that's taking place. As I don't play many card games, but like the ones that I do typically have that flavor text or just like contextually. Like I play a lot of Legends of Runeterra digitally, and I always love. I think their art team is amazing. But they also always have like the flavor text on the pictures, and you can expand the art, and I always think that's cool. Next, we have a Raising Snid. Yeah, I would make sure that I wasn't being dyslexic and read that right. Next, we have. So we got a Rakdos headliner, one holographic, one normal, and then one that's pretty faded. I think that's pretty cool. I wonder. Oh, well, it's black and white on the card, but the card also looks faded. I'm not like colorblind, I promise. We're gonna set that one to the side because I really like that. And we got Smoldering Tar, just one of those. And Boomerol, two of those. Some of these older cards are like there's a lot of saturation in the cards, which is cool, but the color palette is really like uniform. So while they might not like pop like some more of the modern like this guy pops because there's a lot of brighter colors. The older cards aren't as like bright and in your face. And there's something cool about that subtlety, but I absolutely prefer like the really pretty in your face cards. Army ants summon insects. So maybe summon is just like maybe just like creatures or summons or something like that. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research after this one. Tap to sacrifice a land, destroy target land. I don't know why you would want to destroy your own land to destroy another land. But well, that's annoying. Uh yeah, I don't know why you would want to destroy your land just to destroy another land. Maybe that's some old tech I don't know about. The card art for this is pretty cool. We got Cinder Shade. I'm a big fan of dual color decks. Um, it's like I started with a mono. Like I said, I started with mono Chandra, just mono red Chandra deck, and then when I added blue to it, like I felt the weaknesses of the deck just kind of like going away. But even though I love playing Ishin, and the Mardu colors because of what they bring, I absolutely hate dealing with mana in three color decks. I have found, so I think I think two is just such like a good spot. So here's Vicious Kavu. There's three of them. One of them's a little. This camera's better. I'll put it over here. One of the corners is just a little nicked, but the other two are perfectly fine. Also, for a guy to grab this out of the trash, these cards are in like really good condition. That's crazy. I was definitely expecting not that to be the case. Let's see what else we got. We got the Forerunner of Slaughter. We got an Eldrazi drone. Another thing that I like about Magic is one of the only places that you're gonna get like really abstract like monster and alien designs. Like I really hate when you're watching something or reading something, playing something, and you see like they're introducing like this monster and it's like really humanoid. I really don't like that. I like that's like to me one of the beauties of art is that you can really like you make literally anything. Nothing has to conform to like a familiar identity. You can make it as like unknowable as possible. And so like when people really dig into that bag, I really like that. I really just love the idea of monster design. Next we have Mayhem Devil. And this is a really cool devil design. Um and I say that because that's actually like a problem that I typically find with like because like WotC does Magic, but they also do Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of their monster design is pretty uniform in Dungeons and Dragons. Like devils, like obviously disclaimer, obviously I know that you can make your monsters look whatever you want, and I do that. But if people who like if you play Baldur's Gate and like the official material, you'll notice that like monsters and stuff like that are like pretty uniform in appearance. And I'm sure there's like a game reason for that, like recognizability and stuff like that. But I really like stuff to just be like weird enough that it's special, you know? So like I don't like the idea that every red dragon looks the same. I've always just hated that idea. Um Especially because I come from a lot of like JRPGs and anime and stuff like that. And so that's important to me that stuff is like discernible. And like I said, I'm sure there's like a gameplay reason behind that. Um, but over here we don't do that. Next we have the Pragma Warcaller. We have two of those. Same arts. And then we have Pain and Suffering. We have two of those. More destroy land cards. That's so interesting. Like that scene, like I don't know if this is just like because of like the recency that I've been playing and relevance to like the game's lifespan, but destroying people's lands just seems so petty to me. Like this, like that's so crazy to me. And we have Claim and Fame. Those are really those are really neat arts, but I wish they were more like more easily like readable the arts. Like there's a lot going on with the text and stuff like that. I know I sound like I'm being nitpicky. I went to not saying that like my credentials are like but uh I went to graphic design school and then art school and college and stuff like that for art. And so like when I see anytime I see like the lettering and stuff like that or stuff that's just not easily readable, I hear my teacher yelling at me in my head. So that's why. Next we got Carter's Vicious Return. We got two of those. Um we got a little bit of my favorite magic cards, which are equipment. I absolutely love equipment cards. Um, my Ishin deck is entirely samurais and equipment because what's cooler than giving samurais swords? Like that's awesome. So we have Ravager's Mace, and this looks to be a D&D card because it mentions the party system. It gets a buff depending on if one of the classes are in your. Next, we have 2 Steel Claw Lances. This art is a little different, but it's neat. Like, this is another one of those cards where I say like the coloring is a little more uniform, and that brings out like a diff. It evokes a different sense than like the brighter cards. Like this card is really bright. The Carter Doom Scourge, like that's much brighter than that right there. And we have 3 of these, Mr. Demon Berserker Man, and one of them is an alternate art, and I think that looks crazy. I think that's awesome. Mr. Jeff Miracola. I actually think I follow that guy. I'm going to set that art to the side because that's really cool. We got Elite Headhunter. And Colleen, Reclusive Painter. We got 1 holographic and 3 normal ones. Human Elf Bard. And we're getting a little more of these D&D cards. And maybe we'll look up with one of those really expensive dragons. I was looking at building a Tiamat deck, and one of the recommended cards is like an ancient. I can't remember if it's bronze or copper. There's one of those dragons. It's like $80. I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, the effect is crazy, but still, you know. Hungry for More. We have 4 of those, all same arts. We got a Vampire Socialite. I really like this art because it just looks. You can tell this is an artist that we haven't seen. I'm saying in this video, I'm sure y'all might have seen it, but you can tell that this artist is different because like their anatomy is a little different, and the structure of the face is a little more like rigid, and the lighting is also, there's like a much more defined foreground in this picture. Like you can tell that they want like her being the center of the art piece is like really important, as opposed to let's see, we can grab like look at that, like that one is, it's much more dim and it blends. It looks more like the latter picture is a part of the background naturally, whereas like Vampire Socialite, it's like she's posing for like a picture, you know, like where they had the lighting specifically on her, like this scene was set for her to have this picture, and that makes for really cool splash arts and things like that. But the more uniform colors and stuff like that makes for more natural looking settings. I think both of them have their place. Here's Junkyard Genius. Only one of him. But we dropped the card. Next we have a ton of Blood Tithe Harvester. And we have 2 different arts and holographics for them. So here's the normal art for Blood Tithe Harvester. And then here's the holographic. It's so much darker than the camera is making it seem, which makes it look like really ominous, and it's really cool. more alternate arts. So we have here Lagamis, the Hand of Hatred. And I think that's sick art. Like that's crazy. Um so we're gonna set that one to the side also. So there's that one normally. And then we have two of these alternate arts of Lagamis. And I also think that these are really cool. I really like the like mosaic looking art pieces. I'm really blanking on like the name of the actual style, but it's really cool nonetheless. And we got a Rakdos ringleader, just one of him. And we got an Oni cult anvil. One holographic, one not. We got 4 fatal grudges. That has really neat lighting. It looks like that's like a still from like a movie that I haven't seen or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was with the way that what are they called? The universes beyond with the way that those are. We got more Korean arts, I believe. Yep, Korean. That guy's art is cool. So we're gonna set him to the side also. And we got 4 blazing hellhounds, 2 holographic, 2 not. We got 3 forge bosses, 2 English and 1 Korean. Same art though. I put the Korean to the side. We have one of the cool borderless arts for this next card, if I can get it out of there. Terminate. So here is the regular card. And then, you know, it just dawned on me that it might be easier for y'all to see if they were like this. Sorry about that. I see. I didn't even realize that that was like a humanoid shape at first. I was putting it sideways, and then here's the alternate art for Terminate. I think that's really cool. So it will also get placed to the side. And we have Mahadi Emporium Master. It's another one of those arts. I really don't know what to call like this style. It's like the sketch style, like stenciled. But this one also doesn't have an autograph on it. I'm wondering if that one card is that Cradle Baldur's Gate is a little more special than I thought. And then we have Tor Waki the Younger. It's a foil, but it's a little like a little less like vibrant than the other ones. I think that's kind of cool. And the last for this page is Garna, Blood Fist of Keld. And we have 2 normal arts and 2 of the mosaic arts for this. So here's the normal art. Drag it down a little bit. Blood Fist of Keld. And then here's the mosaic art, which is really cool looking. I'd eventually like to build a Rakdos deck because I also have the Rakdos Mini. So that would be cool. But I don't know which Rakdos I would want to build, and that's a problem. Here's Morg Burst. We have 2 of those. Here's Augur Spree. This one has a really neat art to it. And then next we have 4 of these for Marsh Goblins with Swamp Walk. Neat. Here's a Shivan Zombie. I've only ever seen Shivan Dragons. So that's a neat little bit of lore that I should look into, what that means. There's like 4 of those, so that has to be like a pretty common card, I would assume. Okay, and then we have Terminal Agony. 3 of them that are this really nice gold border, bronze border that I really like. And then 1 that's holographic and more of the modern border that I'm used to. So that's cool. We have 4 Plague Spores. This is from 1993. I think it's cool that like the older cards mention the Phyrexians, because I know like they just came back in the lore, and that was like a really big deal, and that I think Magic started with the Phyrexians, so that's pretty cool. Here's a Lava Zombie. There's quite a few of this next one. About 4 or 5 of them. Trader's Roar. It's got a lot going on in the art, which I always appreciate. Cool. I was a little worried that we were gonna be digging deep. Okay, so that is enough for the Rakdos cards. I need to figure out where I'm gonna put all these. And next we're going to my least favorite color combination to play against, Golgari. I'd only just noticed that that last video had already gotten to an hour. So I guess we're gonna have to break up these binders a little more, unless we decide that we just want to sit through binder a video. But for this one, I'll go ahead and cut it off at an hour, and maybe we'll just try to like speed through them next time, or we'll go maybe by color in the books. Maybe we'll do that. We'll go by color coordination in the books and see if we can get a more digestible video, and but also still like enough content. So that was the Dimir and Rakdos of Mystery Binder #1. So next we'll get to some Golgari, and I guess last would be, man, I'm blanking on the blue and white or black and white color combination, but I know I hate it. But we'll get to that next. So I'll see you guys then.